When I said no, my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today.
Hey folks, and truly today is the moment for you to be here and be amazed. I want to give you a ring of the victory bell for being here and being so amazing, because my next guest, Jessper Manquindang, is the owner of Family Lead Management Consulting, which helps leaders and managers build stronger teams through team building activities, leadership assessments, and executive coaching. With over a decade of experience improving the effectiveness and productivity of many teams, he enjoys finding ways to inspire collaboration and camaraderie. In spite of growing up with asthma, Makindang has become an avid runner, preparing for his 17th, that's right, 17th marathon race. So without any further delay, let's please welcome the one, the only, super talented, super handsome, the guy who walked uphill to school both ways in the snow, barefoot, Jessper Manquindang. Welcome, Jessper. How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good. First off, I just want to say happy belated birthday, Raja. I'm glad I get to celebrate this week on your show. So
Thank you
happy
so much,
birthday,
man.
belated birthday.
I appreciate that, and for everybody that else wants to celebrate in your life too, click that link down below and make sure you get the VIP upgrades, because there are some amazing gifts that these speakers are going to give you. But you got to upgrade to VIP. So without any further delay, let me just dive right in. I mean, tell me a little bit, like, so you do Family Lead, LEAD. So tell me a little bit about what that means and how do you help people?
Absolutely. So as we look at today's world, especially post-pandemic, we're seeing this greater sense of isolation in the workplace.
Yeah.
With more and more people working hybrid or remotely. And I realize if we want to bring everyone back into the fold, not necessarily physically, but like they're a part of something, it's all about restoring that sense of connection and belonging. Because as a leader, when you're helping your team realize that it is a team, they'll be much more motivated to be more productive and engaged in the work they do. So really, when it came to building Family Lead, it's a play off the word family. Again, that sense of community, belonging, togetherness. And LEAD, although it's not a specific acronym, I emphasize it because it really pushes that idea of leadership into an effective workplace culture.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Right now, especially with like diversity, equity, inclusion under fire, people talking about inclusive teams and building teams and improving team culture. You know, so I speak on those topics. And so when we talk about inclusivity and belonging, how does that help teams become more productive and more profitable?
That's right. When you look at isolation, it really lowers morale and people feel disengaged. On the other hand, when you restore that inclusiveness, that belonging, people are much more creative. They're much more inspired. They want to make a difference because they realize they're not on their own. And when we remind them that they're not on their own, their team is a team. That'll really inspire them to do more. So that's why it's important for this sense of belonging and inclusiveness.
Beautiful. I love it. So do you have an example of a success story of someone or some company going through this process and like what happened in what was the problem in the beginning and what was the result, and you know, like, you don't have to divulge the name or the company, but tell us what happened.
Of course. So I'll come up with the name of Imaginary Jonathan. And there was a team I was working with, and Imaginary Jonathan, he had a lot of ideas for how tasks and projects should flow together. So I used to work in a travel company in the hospitality industry. And what our department specifically did, I led a team where we were providing customized guidebooks that included information to what clients can do when they travel across the United States. And Imaginary Jonathan had these certain ideas, and the rest of the team, they were disagreeing about what should be done. And we were trying to figure out what to do next. But when I had the conversation with Imaginary Jonathan, I realized that he and the rest of the team, at the end of the day, we were striving for the same goals. We wanted to improve the process of how things should look. So when you look at the overall goal, you realize that there's this sense of agreement somewhere. It's all a matter of really looking where that is. What I did is I got the team together, and we really took the time to find out how we wanted to improve the different processes. And again, reminding them the overall goal. It was to improve the overall process, although Imaginary Jonathan had a different perspective. But again, all about finding ways to see where things match and align. And really the overall lesson for that is really bringing everyone together, not letting one person or the other really stand on their own and trying to figure things out, but to get the whole team to function as a team, collaborate, get the ideas out there, and then overall, when we realized the overall goal and the different ways to get there, we met what worked well, and then together we moved forward as a team. So again, that sense of belonging and including everyone into the conversation, that really makes a difference.
And as part of that, like you hit upon a topic that I think a lot of managers don't realize is that, you said that to make sure that all their ideas get included, that all their ideas get heard. Have you experienced a lot of managers who sometimes don't listen to their team? And that is what is one of those major points of contention, is that, well, employees don't feel heard, so therefore they don't feel valued. And I know personally, like I've felt like that as during parts of my corporate career as well, is that sometimes you just have a manager that thinks that they know it all, and they don't listen to anything you say, even though you have great ideas that could move the team forward. So how do you get them to work with that and to become a better listener to their team?
Absolutely. Raja, do you know what the 6 most dangerous words are in any company culture?
What's that?
It is, we've always done it that way.
Oh, God.
We've always done it that way. Those are the 6 most dangerous words in any company culture.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Who cares how you used to do it? The only thing constant in life is change, right?
That's right. And then when it comes to these managers who are resistant to change, there are at least 2 reasons why these managers are resistant to open to listening. And one is perhaps they have reached a level to their career where they've experienced so much success that with all this success, why change things now? They feel they're on the right track. And when you remind them that there's always constant change in the world, even the successes in the past, yes, great, it led you up to this point, but you still have to be cautious because the success that got you here might not get you there. And it's important to have those conversations with employees. And then the second one could be ego, where managers feel that since they've reached that level, they feel that they have this magical power, this magical sense to make decisions, step over people, roll over people. And you have to remind them that this leadership that's based on command and control, that's not working anymore. People want to be heard. And if you're shutting other people down, they're going to disengage. They're going to stop listening. And over time, you're going to have a quiet group of people surround you. And when it's quiet, there are no new ideas. There's no creativity. There's no sense of collaboration. And if you let that really reinforce itself, that's just going to lead to more trouble. So really, for a leader and manager to build more effectiveness into the work they do and their team, it's really about opening up that space, really letting those ideas come out. Again, there's this metaphor that I love to share: throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's
Yeah.
really what makes an effective leader and manager, really giving other people that opportunity and space to share what's on their mind. Because if a leader and manager is sticking with their one own single idea,
Yeah.
over time, if that one single idea fails, they put all their eggs in one basket. That
Yeah.
leads to so much trouble. So again, really opening up that space to let everyone work together and listen. Because again, there's so much change in this world. When you adapt to it and give other people the opportunity to support your journey, it will get you so much further.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so true. And like I met those people where they think their cup is full and you can't add anything more to them. And it really does deteriorate a team's confidence, culture, and self-esteem. And I've seen it happen. And all of a sudden they start saying, "Well, I'm the manager. I told them what to do." Well, you're the senior director of this, or you're the VP of that, and it doesn't matter. You still have to be a servant leader. You have to understand, like I I kind of like to use the analogy with this is like, whether you sail or boat or you're flying a plane, the winds shift, the current shifts, maybe light, uh, whether you fly first thing in the morning, the air, the density is going to be, is going to vary versus when you're flying at night, without the sun being there, temperature changes. So you have to adjust the trim or you have to adjust the sails in order to compensate. To go in a straight line, you're actually going 3 degrees this way and you're still going forward because you have to adjust the sails or adjust the flaps to fly in a certain direction. That's what the manager should be doing, is asking his team, well, what's happening with the wind, what's happening with the current, what's happening with the temperature and the density and the fluid, how much fuel do we have left, where are our pit stops, what do we need to do? And if you make a mistake, guess what happens? You get to find out sooner, and then you get to course correct sooner and faster. There's a great quote I'm going to add here, and I'm going to get back to you. Is that General Colin Powell, a general of the U.S. Army, years ago, he had said that, like, when you know between 40 to 70% of the information, you activate your troops, because indecision costs more lives than going forward and course correcting. And I've always found that that's so true. Is so much of it are stuck in like, well, I'll do it when it's perfect. But there's nothing perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. And the choices probably are not perfect either. But if you do nothing, you lose opportunity. And that opportunity loss can cost you manpower, time, or millions of dollars. So we always got to want to move forward. So speaking of moving forward, Jessper, tell us a little bit about, like, if there's a link down below to Podapalooza. You have a free gift to share with everybody. Tell us what that will be.
Yes. And the gift, it's a resource to really help you refine your leadership skills. And there are 4 key areas to become a more effective leader. And I call those the 4 super skills of effective leadership. And it's based on public speaking, public listening, private speaking, and private listening. And when you really work on those areas and refine those key themes, it'll really build your effectiveness on what you're already doing. So again, the 4 super skills of effective leadership.
Oh, I like that. So make sure you click that link down below, sign up for the Podapalooza, our sponsor, and make sure you can grab those free gifts. And also, if you upgrade to VIP, not only will you get all the recordings, you also get the VIP gifts from each of the amazing speakers. So tell us, like, what's your VIP gift? Do you have one this year? Yep.
Absolutely. So when it comes to leadership and working with a team, especially in a remote and hybrid world, those come with so many challenges. And I'd like to invite leaders and business managers out there, business owners and entrepreneurs, if you need support in really building your dream team, I'm absolutely happy to support you in that journey. So VIP calls, they're limited. They're called the scaling business owner to dream team CEO strategy calls. Again, once those spots are gone, they're gone. And I'd be so happy to help you when you grab your spot.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Jessper. That's been amazing already. And so if those of you that are watching on the live, you thrive. And if you're on the replay, you get to play again. Thank you so much for being here, part of this journey. So let's keep on going over here. We're going to go to our speed round here. And, tell me a little bit, Jessper, in a few short words, favorite movie or book?
favorite book, Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek.
Oh, I love Simon Sinek. Yeah, great book. Favorite favorite quote.
Favorite quote, I would say from John Maxwell, when you help people, it brings a great sense of joy when you help other people grow and develop.
I love it. Yeah, and I'm a big John Maxwell fan too. Like I read my first personal development book was 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So I'm a big John Maxwell fan. And actually saw him live at a conference once years ago. What about favorite kind of music?
Favorite kind of music? Oh, love jazz. I would listen to Michael Bublé. So really great music that I can sit back and just relax to.
Nice, nice. I like some of the older jazz. I got into jazz a little more recently, so I'm listening to the older stuff like Coltrane and Monk and things like that. And it's just amazing to me. I hear the music, and when I hear Broadway and church music, it's very tonal, very easy, very kind of even. And I hear jazz, I'm like, oh my God, that's like calculus of music, right? It just takes it up to the nth level. It's awesome. What about favorite food?
Favorite food? Oh my gosh, I just love a good plate of jambalaya. It really just gets to me. Love jambalaya.
I have never tried jambalaya, and I've only been to New Orleans once, but I had the po' boy sandwiches, I had the beignets. I never had a chance to try the jambalaya, so that's on my bucket list too.
Bucket list worthy.
Yeah. So let me ask you this here. So before we end our call, there's always an interesting dichotomy between like when we talk about leadership, and we can discuss this at length another time. There is what people know and what people don't know, right? Then there's what you know that you know and what you don't know what you don't know. So we start to get into the ideas of like, there is conscientious learning and unconscious learning, and we start to get into the subconscious learning and how people learn and why is it that people do things why they do. And so what is one thing, what's one actionable call to action that you can tell leaders to do to help boost their teams right now?
My goodness, such an excellent question, because blind spots that can hold people back, especially in roles of leadership. And my advice is to overcome blind spots, keep learning and growing every day. Make learning a daily thing for you, whether it's reading books, listening to podcasts, watching any personal development shows. Keep learning every day, because although there's so much information out there, when you really take the time to really be intentional about the information that you're gathering, it'll help you work on really taking down those blind spots over time.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. So we're just going to summarize all that into shine a light on your blind spots. And I use something like that when I talk about inclusive leadership. And I'm going to retort back to, I know right now, DEI is under fire. I always tell people there's always ROI in DEI. And I'll leave it at that, because the more diverse the teams, the more productive, you get more deferring, innovative problem solving skills. And ultimately that leads to more productivity, faster problem solving, and more profitability. And it just works. So Jessper, last question for you is that if someone gave you a blank check and said unlimited resources, what is your grand vision to change the world?
Absolutely. So growing up, I've found that I've made it my mission to really help other people to discover their purpose as leaders. And I know there are people out there who are probably thinking, leader, that seems like a big responsibility. That's not me. But in reality, everyone is a leader, regardless of if you supervise someone or not. And what I mean by that is your journey in life. It teaches a lesson to other people. And that's where leadership comes in. It's really sharing your story with other people. The world needs to hear that. And when it comes to really fulfilling my desire, it's to build more programs out there that really encourage leaders to share their stories, whether that's an after-school program or whether It's a formal storytelling academy. Overall, I really would like to see more programming out there that really reinforces the idea that everyone in this world is a leader in some form or capacity, because the life that you've lived, the journey that you've been through, it needs to be shared with the world.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Jessper. There is the link down below. Make sure you click on that and you grab not only the free gifts from all of the speakers, but also the VIP gifts. So make sure you upgrade and grab those. So Jessper, thank you so much for being here and being amazing. I just want to leave everybody with one thought, is that in the martial arts, last month I just received my 7th degree black belt, which makes me a grandmaster. And not that I care about that, but one thing that we do in the martial arts is that every rank of black belt, you get a white stripe. And people think that's degrees, which it is. But more importantly, that white stripe means you get to be a white belt all over again and keep learning and growing. We say in our school, a black belt is a role model. That's it. That's all it is. As a leader, are you a role model to your employees? Do you connect with them in that way? And if you do, fantastic. I can't wait to meet more leaders just like you. All right, folks, that's the end of our time. Thank you so much, Jessper, for being here and being amazing. For everyone that's on the show today, make sure if you're live, you thrive. On the replay, you get to play again. Thanks for being here. And this is Coach Raja. As always, don't fake it till you make it. Instead, believe it and become it. And I will see everyone on the next show. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Raja.
You throw a rocket to a lake. What happens? No, there's a splash. You make an impact, and then you get waves. And then you don't know where those waves are going. Those waves are going past around the reeds, and you don't know where that impact is. So all of you out there, when you're on stage, you don't know where your impact is going to end. It's never going to end.